WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Yesterday, Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves imposed additional restrictions on 7 counties. Today, he renewed his call to all Mississippians to stick to the guidelines. And a closer look at the numbers reveals why that could be important. Courtney Ann Jackson explains.
Governor Tate Reeves is further breaking down the process that he's called a surgical approach to reopening and restrictions.
The experts on public health, they are doing data management. They are mining that data.
But not all counties seeing upticks are getting more restrictions. Madison County, for example, went from 298 cases to 491 in 1 week and now stand at 493 cases, putting them within the top 12 counties for both sheer case number increases and per capita numbers. Here's why they're not among those with added restrictions.
Look at those 7 counties compared to a more populous county like Madison County. What we're actually seeing with those 7 counties is that in total, they've accounted for more than 20% of the total cases in Mississippi to date.
That case per 100,000 residents is drastically different. Scott County, for example, has a higher transmission rate, 1,633 per 100,000 residents compared to 441 per 100,000 in Madison County. Those numbers coming from cases between May 4th and 10th.
Look at the total analysis. Certainly, total number of cases matter, but what also matters in terms of is there community spread is how many cases per 100,000 population.
As for what's happening in Madison County,
it's looking like we are seeing some community transmission in certain areas within Madison County.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
MEMA says that more than 70,000 community masks were delivered to 7 counties with the new restrictions, and more masks will be delivered to other counties tomorrow. An employee at a Columbus retirement community has died after being diagnosed with COVID-19. Lowndes County Coroner Greg Merchant confirms the person's death, but did not identify them or what position they held at the Arrington Assisted Living Community Center. Several people living at the facility have tested positive for the coronavirus. At least 3 people connected to the Arrington have died after testing positive for COVID-19. State health officials say long-term care facilities are at high risk of an outbreak and spreading of the virus. Merchant says the employee died yesterday. The Arrington has not returned our calls for comment. New at 10, State Superintendent of Education Dr. Carrie Wright wants every student in the state to have a computer device and internet access to use it. MDE wants the state to use $250 million of the CARES Act money for equipment, licenses, and professional development. The plan calls for an additional $100 million for the next 2 years for maintenance and license renewals. MDE is proposing to provide hotspots to homes that don't have high-speed internet. Some money would also train teachers. Districts have been allocated over $160 million in federal education funds through the CARES Act to support student learning. There are new concerns tonight over a mysterious illness possibly tied to the coronavirus. So far, it seems to mainly affect children, and there have now been nearly 200 cases in 17 states, including Mississippi. That's prompting the CDC to issue an alert to doctors. CBS's Jerika Duncan has the latest.
Today, the governor of New York expressed alarm at the growing cases of the mystery inflammatory illness in children.
To have a child, we thought that children were not especially affected by the virus. To now find out that they might be, and it might be several weeks later, this is truly disturbing.
Of the 102 cases of this illness, the governor said nearly 3/4 of them were admitted to the ICU. At least 17 states and the District of Columbia are now reporting cases of children impacted by this illness, which is similar to Kawasaki disease and believed to be related to COVID-19. Symptoms include fever, rash, abdominal pain, and vomiting. Dr. Stephen Kearney is chief of pediatric critical care at a hospital in New York. He's seen over 30 children with this mysterious illness.
Is this another example of how much we really don't still know about COVID-19?
3 weeks ago, I would have told anybody who listened that this just doesn't affect kids.
8-year-old Jaden Hardawar seemed fine after recovering from a fever when he suddenly went into cardiac arrest. His 15-year-old brother, Tyron, a Boy Scout, performed CPR.
He already started to administer CPR, pumping the chest, which is, he was fast.
Jaden was taken to the hospital and immediately placed on a ventilator.
Next few days, his heart came back.
He spent 13 days in the hospital. Yesterday, he returned home, and today he had his first visitors, the firefighters who helped save his life. The CDC is tracking these cases across the country and plans to issue an alert about this rare illness. It's important to note, though, that doctors say in most cases, this inflammation syndrome is treatable. Jerika Duncan, CBS News, New York.
Overcast conditions across our region this evening. Our time lapse from downtown Columbus shows some of those higher clouds out there. A little bit of moisture up in those clouds trying to reach the ground. Most of it not really doing anything as far as reaching the ground. But you can see we are underneath some of those clouds right now. All quiet, no rain expected for the rest of tonight. Temperatures are still quite mild. Look at these numbers. Low and mid 70s. 74 still in West Point, 72 in Starkville. It is a mild night considering where we have been recently. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds. Notice how high should be somewhere into the 80s. We are expecting a chance for a few spotty showers or storms. So you don't really see it here, but we can't rule out a little bit of rain out there. Maybe a little bit of thunder and lightning too. Higher humidity, daily rain chances, warmer weather, that will carry us into the weekend. We'll show you that in the 7-day in just a few minutes.
An Ottawa County man is indicted in a shooting and as a habitual offender. Devier Outlaw is facing an aggravated assault charge. The shooting happened on Gleason Drive late last year. Now, there was a manhunt for Outlaw. He was eventually arrested in Tennessee. Prosecutors allege Outlaw shot the victim in the chest. That person was eventually treated and released from the hospital. Outlaw has been convicted of 2 drug charges. We now know more about a weekend shooting in Clay County that left 3 people injured and a man facing charges. Sheriff Eddie Scott tells WCBI investigators believe the incident was domestic in nature. 48-year-old Gene Sparks is charged with aggravated assault after the Saturday afternoon incident. He has since bonded out of jail. Sparks is accused of shooting 3 people during the incident that started at his home on Happy Hollow Road. Scott says 4 people came to Sparks' home to reportedly talk to his stepdaughter. When a fight broke out, Sparks allegedly got his gun and started shooting. 3 people were hit, including Sparks' stepdaughter. One of the victims is in a Jackson hospital in critical condition. The shooting remains under investigation. All right, Keith, you said it. We're kind of on a good pattern here.
Yeah, no big systems, no severe weather.
And sunny skies.
And folks that really want the warm weather is coming on back with that humidity. Tomorrow, not too bad. We are advertising a few spotty storms in the region. Most spots stay dry. This is our planner for Macon. Notice how we're back into the mid-80s. The full forecast is next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Showers and storms possible in the lower 48 tomorrow. Yeah, it is mid-May. That's what happens this time of year for us. Not in the severe weather zone. That is back across the high plains. But yeah, there could be some showers or thunder showers around this time of year. Just about each and every day. They'll flare up during the heating of the day, and then they'll go back down or pulse down once you get into the evening. Let's check it out with our First Alert forecast tonight. We've got Marilyn the kitty. We love Marilyn. She looks all cute right there, hanging out. 84 degrees, our forecast high for tomorrow. Speaking of those spotty storm chances, we have that in the forecast here. We don't have a lot of those little thunderstorm icons on the map, but we are expecting the opportunity for a little bit of rain in some locales. Let's show you that with Futurecast, 7 o'clock in the morning. A mix of clouds and some sunshine. Variably cloudy to start out. Will become partly cloudy, I think. But during the heating of the day, this is 4 o'clock, and there could be some showers and thunder showers around. Whatever does develop will go away after sunset, and we'll flare more showers and storms back up into our Friday. I think we'll have slightly better coverage on Friday versus tomorrow, but in general, fairly benign activity expected here. And then as we roll on into the weekend and early next week, several more opportunities for some rain. Rainfall potential, not a lot. However, if you get underneath one of those downpours, it could add up a little bit. If you get underneath the core of one of those storms, it can really be a pretty good downpour. And we've had a lot of downpours so far this year. Over 30 inches in Tupelo, about 40 in Columbus, about 45 in Starkville. And these kind of numbers are something we should be having by the end of summer and the fall, not necessarily in mid-May. But we've got some robust plants out there. Check out that tomato showing on up right now. Some of those gardens really getting going. There's a black-eyed Susan. We've got a lot of color out there, and roses aplenty. I've got plenty of those in my yard as well. It is very nice. My garden is probably the best looking garden I've had in years with all the wet weather and comfortable temperatures we've had. There's our time lapse from Louisville, Mississippi today. Right now we are underneath some of those clouds, still in the 60s, the low 70s. It's a mild night. Lows, worst case scenario, lower 60s. Now the humidity levels will continue to rise, and that will keep the chance of some showers and storms going in the region. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we'll have an opportunity for some rain. Some days will feature higher odds than others. Now, it's early, but there's a potential tropical system that could get organized east of Florida towards the Bahamas late in the weekend, and that thing would likely go out to sea. It's not going to have any bearing on our weather, but that just tells you that things are looking to get a little bit more active now as we approach summer down there in the tropics. So rain chances anywhere from about 20 to 40% over the next 5 days. Highs well into the 80s, upper 80s for the weekend. Drier by the middle of next week.
All right, thanks, Keith. If you're a fan of wine, hot dogs, and our series Uncorked, just wait till you see what Uncorked Scott Martin and Bobby Burgess have been working on during this time of quarantine. A virtual hot dog and wine tasting, yeah, that's true, brought well-known chefs and winemakers and wine lovers from across the world all to one place. Scott gives us a behind-the-scenes look at how it all came together.
This actually started as a joke on Twitter. I put that picture up. I was like, wouldn't this be a fun idea to find people from all over the country to make a hot dog if they have a hot dog for their state and then pair a wine with it?
One tweet started it all. It gained the attention of the senior VP of Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs, the original flavor of New York City.
James Walker of Nathan's Hot Dogs actually sent us a bunch of hot dogs and got some amazing and incredible people on here tonight.
People from as far as the United Kingdom were part of the virtual hot dog wine tasting, which, FYI, it was 1 a.m. there during our Zoom meeting. Well-known chefs, cookbook authors, winemakers, and local wine experts, they were all a part of something they say was something special. So grab a glass of your favorite cab and prepare your taste buds, because you've never seen hot dogs like these.
Now, one chef they talked with has opened restaurants in Japan and Australia, and is the author of 13 books. The first part of this virtual Uncorked airs tomorrow night at 9 and 10. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. In tonight's Health Talk with Baptist, we explore some of the potential causes of mental illness.
What causes mental illness? Most mental health professionals believe that there are a variety of contributing factors to the onset of a mental illness, including a combination of biological, psychological, and environmental factors. What biological factors are involved in mental illness? Some mental illnesses have been linked to an abnormal balance of special chemicals in the brain called neurotransmitters, which help nerve cells in the brain communicate with each other. If these chemicals are out of balance or are not working properly, messages may not make it through the brain correctly, leading to symptoms of mental illness. In addition, defects in or injury to certain areas of the brain have also been linked to some mental conditions. Other biological factors that may be involved in the development of mental illness include genetics, infection, and prenatal damage. What psychological factors contribute to mental illness? Severe psychological trauma suffered, such as emotional, physical, or sexual abuse, an important early loss, such as the loss of a parent, neglect, and poor ability to relate to others. What environmental factors contribute to mental illness? Certain stressors can trigger an illness in a person who is susceptible to mental illness. These stressors may include death, divorce, dysfunctional family life, living in poverty, low self-esteem, loneliness, and substance abuse by the person or the person's parents. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist, where we will discuss diagnosing and treating mental illness.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
A return to normalcy. That's what park goers were seeking yesterday at the Lowndes County Soccer Complex. For the first time in months, an in-person outdoor Zumba class took place. Our Cash Matlock joined in and has more.
Zumba is a exercise that uses Latin rhythms, but Miss Bonnie has incorporated a lot of current music so that it's fun and current and hip. We can get outside and enjoy the fresh air. We have plenty of room to social distance, so we can make sure that we stay safe that way, and we get to see people. Of course, we'll be careful, and we might not be giving all the hugs that we would normally give, but we'll have a good time.
We're missing each other, and I did try to do live streaming. It's not the same. You don't get to feel everybody's ambience.
We're going to make sure that we distance ourselves in between each other. And the great thing about being out here at the park is we have the space to be able to do that. We want to maintain, safety and all of that stuff.
We will sweat and we will have fun.
And the thing that I love most about Zumba is it's like a full body workout all into one. You don't realize all of the muscles and things, the different body parts that's actually being worked out at the same time. And then you get to have fun with it too.
Zumba to me is a way to burn off calories, have fun. You do get a workout. But for those like me that love to dance and love to move and love music, this is our forte.
Zumba is the only thing that I've done for an extended period of time. I've been doing Zumba now for about 7 years, and it's just fun.
I am just amazed at the outpouring of people that are here today. I think that we need to be mindful and, of course, be safe, but at the same time maintain some sort of normalcy, if you will. And this working out is just one way that we can do that. Get to see each other, still distance, of course, but, get back to life. Fitness shouldn't suffer because of everything that's going on.
You can tell they were all excited to be out there. The outdoor Zumba class will meet again at the Lowndes County Soccer Complex next Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock. Well, the father of SEC baseball is returning to Starkville. The latest on what's next for Ron Polk in sports. Stay with us.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
History is repeating itself at Mississippi State. MSU Athletics announcing that former head baseball coach Ron Polk will return as a special assistant to athletic director John Cohen. Polk's assistant coaching position focuses on coaching relationships, and the man is best known for his 2 successful stints as the Dog skipper for a combined 28 seasons, becoming the winningest coach in the Southeastern Conference. During that time, Polk led MSU to 8 College World Series appearances and 5 SEC tournament championships. If you know Titans defensive end Jeffrey Simmons or recognize this video, then you probably already know the former MSU standout loves to give back. This is a video from December when Simmons surprised his former high school team, Noxubee County, with gifts during the holiday season. Now, amid the coronavirus outbreak, Simmons gave back to medical workers by providing Taco Tuesday lunch this week. The St. Thomas Emergency Medical Services that he provided lunch to provides emergency medical transportation to services in the Middle Tennessee area. JUCO begins to make some moves back towards normalcy. The NJCAA announced that the current in-person recruiting ban will be lifted on Friday, May 15th. The lift will officially go into effect at 11:59 p.m. Individual regions are allowed to implement rules and restrictions based on state and local rules. In terms of recruitment, enforcing rules will be left up to individual colleges. Over on the hardwood, coaching moves continue in the offseason. The latest being Smithville naming former Saltillo assistant DJ Barres as the Seminoles' new boys basketball head coach. Burress spent the last 4 years serving as an assistant for the Tigers. This is Burress's first ever head coaching position. That's it for sports. We'll have more for you when we come back. Stay with us.
A quick look at our forecast. Highs in the 80s. Daily rain and storm chances here, Joey, as we get into the weekend.
And summer, that's what we do.
There you go. That's all you need to know.
All right. Thanks, Keith. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Have a great night.